remembrance at last. Wake the white wolf at the dawn of war. The end of the ages are coming now. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores. Fires in the night, the torches of war. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores. Fires in the night, the torches of war. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores. Fires in the night, the torches of war. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores. Fires in the night, the torches of war. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the white wolf at the dawn of war. The end of the ages are coming now. Out on the endless ocean, we tear along the gales, with rum inside our bellies, warm and freedom in our sails. A wayward bunch of scoundrels, assassins, thieves and slaves. The rich and blue bloods fear us when we hunt upon the waves. And when you see it coming, that flag of baleful black, no point in turning tail, there's no escaping our attack. Yo ho, we roll beneath the black flag. A rollickin' we go, we own the sea and sky. Yo ho, we roll beneath the black flag. A rollickin' we go, we breathe the kingdom's dry. Defy the odds against us, a pirate knows no fear. Our steel is ready and our retribution is severe. We plunder from the greedy, with blood and with our steel. We rob the rich of their ill-gotten gain and make them kneel. Behold the ocean's mysteries, the tales of ancient deeds. We follow in the footsteps of a silent secret creed. Yo ho, we roll beneath the black flag. A rollickin' we go, we own the sea and sky. Yo ho, we roll beneath the black flag. A rollickin' we go, we bleed the kingdom's dry. Hoist the black flag, lads.
Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome to another painting stream. How's everybody doing today? It's good to be here. It's good to be here, and I'm going to get some painting done. Give me just a couple of moments. I was about to post to some Discords, and then had to put out a fire at work, as frequently happens. Okay, I'll have to deal with that later. So I'm just posting to Discords. If you have a Discord and you want me to post in it when I go live, I mean, sure, I'd be happy to. It just takes me a couple of secs. What on earth? There we go. I really do appreciate the sort of community of streamers that have grown up organically over the course of the pandemic. I really like my buddy 10 Rabid Bears and his friend Ty, and of course Pi, my mod. It's so good to have these folks that we're all streaming at different times, but we all sort of hang out in each other's chats, and it's always good to see you folks. Novocaine, welcome. I don't see you that frequently. I'm glad you're able to. This is like the second week in a row you've been able to show up, though. So that's. Oh no, too much, too loud. Hang on. There we go. We're okay. Everything's cool. And Lobster, good morning. Good morning. So, I keep clashing with stupid work. Stupid work! That's okay. Work pays the bills. Work pays for paints. That's fine. Yeah, certainly this stream doesn't pay for anything. That's, I do this mostly to motivate myself. That's what I always say, is, knowing that I get a time to sit down and hang out with you folks and sort of chat with you while I get some stuff done, it helps to keep me motivated. It keeps me from just sort of ossifying. It's good to be able to have a regular time of the day to do a little bit of painting. And I feel like it's good for my stupid work because many of the things that I paint are things that I'm actually bringing into work so that folks can play with them there. Because I work at a game store, which means my work isn't quite so stupid. And at that game store, we have game demos, and that's what I've been painting. I painted, a couple of weeks ago, I finished the Octarius, Octavius? Octarius. The Kriegsman from the new Kill Team box. Oh, okay, Novocaine. Let me share my latest adventure briefly. I cut a chunk off your thumb, so painting has been stowed. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you need your limbs to paint. Have been loving the new Kill Team. The rule book was genuinely written in a different language. Do you mean it was written in Yankee English as opposed to proper English? I don't know. I do understand that the new Kill Team is very different from what Warhammer players are used to. That it is significantly pared down and a very different game. You got some scales, okay, and we're not talking about those. But you're going to a great gaming club, so that's a lot going on. That's pretty awesome. Well, you'd think they were trying to write in technical English, but well, I mean, it was probably written very quickly. I get the impression, I don't know, things are not all well over at our buddy's Games Workshop. The modeling, still absolutely astonishing. Like, I am constantly amazed by the artists they employ. It's just fantastic, fantastic models. And some of the stuff they've been coming out with is truly astonishing. I don't know if you folks have seen the new, I'm certain Lobster hasn't because he doesn't really follow it, but the new orcs riding on sort of squigs. They're very cool, and they are fantastic models, and I wish I could have an excuse to paint some. However, in the midst of a pandemic with Brexit and all kinds of shipping issues, distribution has been a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And here in the U.S., they've also been having troubles at their warehouse. I don't know if it's labor shortage or I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but it's been bad, folks. It's been really bad. So, whatever. Yeah, the new sculpts for Kill Team are gorgeous. My boss has been painting the new terrain for Kill Team, which is the sort of junkyard orc terrain. Oh my goodness, that stuff is fantastic, and there's so much of it. That Kill Team box has like 12 terrain pieces, not counting the little chest-high walls that you can put around the battlefield. It's just overwhelming. Rangers are unapparelled scouts. Okay. Yeah. I'm 100% certain some modder out there is making their unapparelled Rangers team. And I look forward to seeing that. Anyways, let's take a look at the figures that I'm working on right now. I'm going to go to overhead cam, zoom cam. I am not doing GW right now. I am doing Crisis Protocol, and we have the base coat done on Captain America here. This figure is so good, and I can't wait to finish him. But he's looking fantastic. And my goal today is to get base coats done on both of these. You can't really see them on the black. Both of these figures here. This is Baron Zemo and Crossbones. I'll grab their cards because I've been using their cards for reference. I had them out. Oh, there they are. Folks, my desk is in such disarray here. So there we are, Baron Zemo, Crossbones. Relatively straightforward paint schemes, I think. So let's see. Crossbones, I'm going to need some dark gray. He's got a lot of black. Not a fan of painting black, but we'll make it work. He's got some silver bits, and he's got his white mask. Baron Zemo, a lot of browns, more browns, at least 3 shades of brown, and then his purple balaclava and some little gold detailing, and he's got white eyes. So I don't know if you folks can see, but it doesn't really have the whites of his eyes. He doesn't have eyeballs. He has that sort of comic book character white eye in his purple sweater hat. So, sure, we'll do that. Crossbones. The illustration here is unclear, but I think those are meant to be actual human eyes and not the white sort of superhero eye thing going on there. And it's, yeah, you can kind of see them in the sculpt. So perhaps we start with that. Let's try and get his eyes done. This is going to be one of those challenges. All right. So I think since we don't have any reference in the card, I'm going to give him flat brown irises. So we're going to do my patented paint over and over eyeball technique, which is that I do the irises first, then I paint the whites around them, and then I paint the eyelids around those. I'm going to use my Wargamer Psycho brush. And again, I'm going to say to myself, why do I not have a microscope, magnifying glass here, so that I can see what I'm doing? Oop. Oop. Sure. Clean up my area a little bit. Don't paint until you see the whites of their eyes. It's very much a New England reference. I'm sure they don't teach classes on, well, I mean, they probably mention it, but the U.S. Revolutionary War. In the UK. It's just one of a number of rebellions in the greater empire. But here in the US, obviously, there's a lot of mythology to the Revolutionary War. And part of it involves the Battle of Bunker Hill and the famous admonition to not fire until you can see the whites of their eyes. Which makes perfect sense when you're talking about the muskets of the time, because those things had no rifling, which means that their slugs would go off every which way when you fired them. Oh, this is such a mess. It's fine. This is why I do it this way. It's getting paint everywhere. But that's okay, because we're going to tone it down as we go. Alright, so here's a decision I have to make. I think for Crossbones, for flesh tone, I'm going to go with a slightly darker, we're going to use a cork brown for his flesh tone, make him look a little tanned. Do I paint flesh tone around his eyes? In the card, it has black, as though he's got black mascara all around his eyes. I feel like it might actually look more fun. I might diverge from the card here, because I think it might look more fun to have it clearly a mask over his human skin. You'd do black Novocaine? Otherwise it might look weird? Yeah, it might look weird. No, I'm going to go with flesh tone. I'm going to diverge from the card. I appreciate your input, Novocaine, and I can always go back in and just redo it if it looks too strange. We'll see what it looks like. It could be that there's just not enough contrast between the flesh tone and the white of the skull mask. You go serious with your painting? No, I understand that completely. So chat, I have a project that I am contemplating. And this is something exceptionally ambitious that I'm thinking about doing. Basically, there should be just a tiny slit of eye still visible by the time I'm done with this. Extra Life is about a month away. A little bit more than a month away. Which is a annual fundraiser that Battleground participates in. And I am pondering painting a mini during Extra Life. Oh my goodness, this is so bad. It's okay. Actually not terrible. So I'm pondering painting a very complex mini for Extra Life. And then auctioning it off during the Extra Life Marathon. And what I'm thinking about painting is the newest rendition of Be'lakor, which is a demon from Games Workshop, playable in both Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. And it's a good 12 to 14 inches tall. Great huge wings, holding a giant flaming sword. So I'm pondering painting that over the next few weeks. Like, that's going to be a project of at least a month. At least. I'm going to use Deck Tan for the white of his mask. And sort of paint that Be'lakor. I'll do it on stream, obviously. Paint it to the best of my current ability. Because we've gotten some practice in on some cool techniques over the last couple of projects we've been working on. So I'd want to do some OSL, do some cool sort of shading effects, all that sort of stuff. Choose a striking paint scheme. And then the way that we handled auctioning stuff on Extra Life last year is that we sell auction tickets. So we'd sell tickets over the course of the month. I'll have links here in my chat and on my stream. So that folks can enter to win. And then we'll do a big drawing at the end of the Extra Life Marathon. So I'm thinking about doing that. I worry that a month is not enough time to do justice to something on the scale of Be'lakor at my current level of ability. But it would certainly be a fun challenge. And hopefully would raise some money for Boston Children's Hospital, which is what we do during Extra Life. I know at least a couple of people at the store who would probably bring Be'lakor to the table for some tournaments, if they had one. And this is an opportunity for them to get one for cheap, because, you know, they only have to enter a certain number of times to win. If I'm charging $10 per ticket, they could buy like 5 tickets for $50 or whatever. And then possibly win it. And $50 would be a deal for Be'lakor. Even a amateur painted Be'lakor. I think that looks okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, he's got a lot of chains and skulls and stuff hanging from his wings. It's a fantastic model. So I think it would be a lot of fun to paint. let's look at the rest of this dude. He's got his tactical vest here, which is going to be a lighter color of gray, I believe. Oh no, it's darker. And then the shirt that he's got on under there is almost a greenish gray. So we'll go with that. Like a greenish camo gray. Let's do his arms next. I'm going to do the same flesh tone that I just did for his face. For his arms. So yeah, Be'lakor would be an enormous challenge. Just a real test of my ability. This brush is not in great shape. But that's fine, it doesn't have to be. And folks will be able to watch my process for painting him. I have a paint scheme in mind. I don't know if my skill level is sufficient to achieve exactly what I have envisioned, but my notion is to give him a sort of celestial look. Sort of stars for eyes and galaxies in his wings. So a lot of blues and whites, and then like dark blues, night sky blues. And then for his sword and the cracks in the terrain at his feet have a sort of eldritch glow. So a bright green eldritch glow, which of course would be reflected on the figure, so we'd be doing some OSL there. That's my notion. Who knows if I'll be able to pull it off. As an aside, this Crossbones figure with his extremely bulky arms here, he's got veins and stuff sculpted into the arms. When I get to the stage of applying the wash, those will probably become more apparent. He's a very vascular man. Which I know Amanda will get that reference. He's so huge, so vascular. Once I'm done with the arms, we'll work on the vest he's got on under his, actually looks like maybe he's wearing a jumpsuit or a matching vest and pants. He's got on under his tactical gear. a nice dark camo green for that. Gonna have to come back and do second layer on some of these areas. You can see that the primer is showing through. It's fine. Okay, what do I have for a really dark green? I've got this heavy green. Do I have anything that's a little more gray than that? That actually might work pretty well. It's a little brighter, but it will tone down when I put the wash in. I'm gonna check my WizKids boxes and see if I've got anything a little darker. Yeah, that's the darkest green in this box. There's a color entitled Cayman Green here. Black, green ink, green ink. Oh, Kmar green. Kmar green. Yeah, it's even brighter. Actually, it just needs to be blended better. Yeah, that's a brighter green. Okay, so we're going to go with this, the heavy green. This poor brush. Can you folks see how splayed it is at the end there? I'm going to stop using that brush. I definitely have problems saying goodbye to brushes. Like, that brush is clearly past its prime, but I haven't been able to put it away. What is... He's got some lumps here that make no sense. It's fine. Leave his belt black. Do these belt loops in green? So yeah, I'm still trying to decide on Be'lakor. He's not an inexpensive figure. He's $150, I believe, or $160. It'd be roughly 200 pounds. Maybe a little bit more. 210, 215. Like I said, not an inexpensive figure. So I'd be putting out, that's sort of my donation to Extra Life, is buying the figure before starting in to paint it. But that would be a big initial outlay. Trying to figure this out. There's straps holding his holster to his hip here. In the illustration, his knee pads are silver, so we'll do that. Again, some straps there. Boots. The sculpt does not exactly match the illustration, so that gives me a little leeway to play around with it a little bit. He's got a lot of straps and buckles and stuff going on. Cool. Progress. I think this color green is perfect, though. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Really, this is not a super complicated character. That's why I figured I'd probably have time today to do base coats on 2 characters. Is that I figured there's not a lot of super complexity to Crossbones here. Figure tomorrow we can, if I can finish base coats on these 2 today, tomorrow we can work on the bases for all 3 of the figures I'm working on right now, and get some washes done. Almost done with his pants, and then we'll do his shirt. Good. It's hard to say where shirt ends and tactical vest begins. Pretty good. There we go. A lot of the detail on his vest is probably going to be provided by the wash. Looks like in the illustration well, for one thing, I glued his knife on upside down, apparently. Fine. I don't suppose that makes any difference whatsoever. Looks like they've given the handle of his knife brown. And then all the rest of that stuff is sort of blacks. Some silver on the gun, some buckles. Okay, so I'm going to very quickly paint most of his vest in a dark gray. And use this basalt gray. And then we'll put him aside for a couple of moments before we do the silver, and we'll work on Baron Zemo. Just, I don't want him black, because then if the wash is supposed to be doing the work of bringing out all the detail here. Oh, where about his neck? Ah, his neck should be flesh toned. Hang on. It looks a little weird because where did I just put the flesh tone I was using for him? I was using cork brown. There we go. His head is not quite properly seated, so there's going to look a little mutant-y around the neck area here. That's fine. I guess he's wearing a collared shirt with the sleeves rolled up. Like I said, it could be a jumpsuit. I'm not entirely certain. This brush is not up to some of the detail I'm trying to do.
It's been a long year. I know you're tired and you're blue. You've been breathing smoke inside this trial of fire, but you got through.
There.
And I know the
Sharp collars in there.
but you're still present, you're still strong. Hold on. Through all your pain and all your
All right.
you're
Now, we'll do that gray.
It's been a long year.
I think there's some paint stuck. There we go. There was some paint stuck in the brush, which was making it less accurate. Okay. So this gives me somewhere to darken down to when I go in with the wash, because otherwise this would just be black, and as always, you can't get much darker than black. And we'll use a non-oil wash on all this. I feel like maybe it should be darker than that. Let's see if I've got anything darker. Got this somber gray. It's just a bluer gray. I've got my necromancer cloak, of course, which is sort of almost a purpley gray. I could go with a blue. Would that blue read as black? has a null oil coat over it. I think that might work. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's a good shade. All right, so we're almost done with crossbones here. And we'll get some paint on Baron Zemo. He's all going to be browns, purple. Go pretty quickly, I hope. There's a bit of pant leg here that I missed. Right here. Good. much of my coffee. I should drink some coffee. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. Legs mostly done. Couple more areas on the vest to get. And we can put him to one side. The wash is going to do a lot of work here, as always. Cool. All right. All right. This has taken a little bit more time than I anticipated, but that's fine. He's coming along well. It's a very simple paint scheme, but I was trying to get a little bit of detail in there with the base coat. Should I paint his gloves? I should paint his gloves, shouldn't I? A little foolish for gluing his tactical knife on upside down, but I don't think it really makes any difference. Okay, mask and gloves. Basically a luchador mask, isn't it? I did say I'd do a second coat on his arms as well, so come back to that. Pretty much done. There's all the bits that I need to do in silver still, but I'll do those later. Or maybe I do them now. Maybe I just spend the rest of today finishing up Crossbones, and we'll do Baron Zemo tomorrow. Might be able to get a little bit of Baron Zemo done, like get some of the purple on him done. So he's basically got brass knuckles going here on the ends of his hands. Let's do a second coat for some of his flesh tone. Just trying to cover up some of the areas where the primer is showing through. Trying to decide whether I'm going to do a flesh tone wash on his arms or do a brown wash on his arms. Horrible bulging man. There we go. Alright, alright. Let's do some silver detailing on him. How much time do we have left? Half an hour? Sure. So, gunmetal gray. That's more than I needed, but that's fine. Touch up a thing that I messed up just now when I was doing the flesh tone. Right here on his cheek. There, fixed it. I think it's almost time for me to get some new brushes, folks. I'm rough on my brushes, I guess. So I guess tomorrow I'll work on the base coat for Zemo. And then Thursday we'll work on washes. And that means Friday, well, you all know what Friday is. Friday we'll be finishing Friday. We'll finish all 3 of these. And then I've got 1 figure left in the base set or in the core set for Crisis Protocol. And that will be Ultron, who's going to be an entire project to himself. Because there's a lot I'm going to want to do with Ultron. Okay. And the illustration his gun has a lot of silver in it. Let's try and do that. Got a little bit of black in the grip. Didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to. That's fine. Can easily touch it up. And then his knee pads. Got sort of metal wedges on his boots. There we go. Like I said earlier, the illustration does not perfectly match the figure, which is kind of liberating. Because if I'm trying to make the figure look like the illustration and the sculpt isn't quite there, it just means I get to do a little bit of interpretation of my own. Which I appreciate. You folks know me, I like to be creative in my painting. Like, certainly the plans I have for the custom painted Bellacore that I'm thinking of doing are not a typical or GW recommended paint scheme. I just want to do something flashy and cool looking. hopefully that will raise some monies for Extra Life. Alright, so he's got a whole bunch of buckles and stuff. I'm going to try and get those in silver. He's also got these little rings on his back. I don't know what those are meant to be. Little brads. But let's do those in silver. Why not? Figure if there's a detail in the sculpt, why not do something fun with it? Little buttons here. I feel like he's probably got a belt buckle under all this. Some of this is going to be details that are just brought out by the wash, but I want to do some buckles and stuff like here. This looks like a buckle here. Some of this will probably disappear when you do the wash over it, so I may want to go, oh no, that was way too thick. I may want to go back in with some of this after I do the wash. Okay. Well, I think that's crossbones pretty much done. And I have a few minutes left. So let's take a few minutes to do a little bit of work on Baron Zemo. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy with Baron Zemo's eyes. We're just going to give him superhero eyes. So here's Baron Zemo. Brown, 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 and purple. I'm going to try and get the purple done today. I may have gone a little overboard when I was priming him. What do I have for purple options? I have a very bright purple, which I think is too bright. Ah, here we are. And do this. Hexed Lichen. That's a good purple. It's almost too dark. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's too dark. It's a lovely purple, but it doesn't really read. I guess we go light purple unless I have something in between. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going lighter. That's fine. Your base coat should always be lighter than the effect you're ultimately going for, because you're going to be using a wash to tone things down. this looks. Yeah, it's definitely a lot purpler. More purple. That looks pretty good. I have to touch up these eyes. Oh my goodness, that's awful. Wow. Fine. I'm just going to paint right over them. We'll come back to that. Ear flaps and crown piece are gold. We'll do those in gold at a later date, which would be tomorrow. So I'm going to try and, well, it's wet paint, so I'm not going to do it right now, but we'll try and fix up his eyes tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll start working on more of his brown, his vest, his boots, his jacket, all of this brown. Just many different shades of brown. If he's a baron, why is he wearing a tiara? It's one of those mysteries we may never know the answer to. Okay. Got 10 more minutes. Let's think about some of the different browns that are going to go on here. Ruff and his gloves are sort of a lighter brown. I have a fur brown that I can do for that. It's a thin paint, so it's going to require a couple of coats. So I might as well get a coat on now. I can do another coat tomorrow. So thin that there is actually no paint in the bottle. There you go. You can see how that's a very thin paint. Okay. And the roughs of his gloves. In the illustration, it's like the whole forearm there. think for the gold on his helmet and for the sword, I'm going to practice my NMM on this model. Doesn't have to look great, but it's a good opportunity to practice. Practice is how you get there in the end. I'm going to need at least 2 other shades of brown. Well, that was a pretty productive day. Got the base coat done on one figure. Got a base coat started on a second figure. I'm going to try and fix his eyes quickly before we wrap up for the day. But thank you everybody for joining me as always. It was good to have Novocaine for the Souls here. Good to see you as always, Lobster. Making some good progress on these figures. Hope to finish them on Friday. And then we can start work on Ultron here. Hopefully get Ultron done over the course of next week. Ultron's going to be an interesting challenge. But that's fine. We're going to be doing some OSL, some NMM. We're going to be trying some techniques I'm not yet super comfortable with, which should make next week very interesting and fun. Putting my finger right into the wet paint. Perfect. Part of the problem here is that the sculpt is not great on these eyes, and I have when I was priming him, I might have gone a little overboard with the primer, so there's not much definition to these eyes now. All right, just create the eyes you don't have. They're so lopsided. Why? better? That'll do. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Tomorrow we will continue work on Baron Zemo. We will do some NMM practice, which is always exciting. And I'm looking forward to next week and looking forward to next month. I am going to try and get some work done tonight, or this afternoon over on Battlegrounds page, on some of the Extra Life stuff, because Extra Life is coming up fast. So, little more than a month until Extra Life. So we're going to start putting some stuff up for auction. We're going to start getting some info out there for the Extra Life 25-hour marathon. And I'm looking forward to all of that at the beginning of November. So thank you for joining me, people. You are wonderful, and I appreciate having you here. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, Amanda will be reading more of Feet of Clay by Terry Pratchett over at her channel, twitch.tv/MerrimanLion. So hopefully I'll see you there. And I'll see you tomorrow morning when we'll get a little bit more done on Baron Zemo. Thanks for joining me, folks. Be excellent to each other and enjoy whatever art it is you choose to do. I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.